The Zone Coverage Podcast Network.
The Andy, Luke, and Arif football machine.
Autobots, transform! I like this kind of party!
Straight cash, homie.
Starts now.
No. Welcome back to Thunderdome. Yes. For another Zone Coverage Football Machine, Zone Coverage Podcast Network, zonecoverage.com. Subscribe. Become a subscriber. Be somebody. I'm your not so humble host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on Twitter Machine.
Not my host.
And I have equity, more equity than every NFL player wanting to play in the CFL after October 17th.
Is that when the season ends?
No, that's when weed is legalized in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in.
Well, I mean, there's a hard cap to the number of NFL players that can play in the CFL, and they've already reached it. So.
Ricky Williams come back?
Oh, good.
Except they're going to...
If you wanted to play football,
Can you imagine?
No, they're going to cycle out the bad Americans. Like Drew Wolodarski is starting in the CFL.
Well, that's just a mistake, though.
Yeah.
They didn't mean for that to happen. That's going to be fixed.
Like, who are you?
We fixed the glitch.
Although Ricky Stanzi washed out, which is... But anyways.
Since Jimmy Butler's 6
Well, that's
foot
because Ricky
8.
Stanzi's too American.
That's true.
It's like Phil Oldholt.
Join me, as always, Arif Hassan at Arif Hassan NFL. Hey, how's your World Cup betting going?
Poorly, but I may come out in the black because I'm in a suicide pool.
Yeah.
And $750 on the line. And there's only like 4 or 5 people left. So I'm actually doing really well in that.
And that's the one where you pick a new one every week?
Yeah, and you can't
you just got to be the last guy standing?
Picked. Yeah, and you've got to be the last guy standing. So
and you can't use the team that you already picked, right?
Right. So that one is doing shockingly well, despite the fact that my other World Cup betting is not.
Has it been like a weird kind of betting start so far to the World Cup? Like, has there been a lot of upsets or like draws where
there's
teams
been like 5 own
Brazil?
goals already.
Yeah, there's been 5 own goals, which is more own goals than the entirety of the 2014 World Cup. So that's weird.
Mexico,
there's been a little
Germany.
more. Yeah, that one screwed me.
Not good.
There's been a little more upsets, but like honestly, I don't know. Like if Vegas is losing, I feel like I have an excuse. I don't think Vegas is losing is the thing.
Got it.
I think I'm just doing a really poor job.
Got it.
But I'll come out ahead, so you don't have to worry about it.
Poor job like my stupid South Korea team. Because how do you lose to Sweden? But it's okay.
I had money on them drawing, by the way. Sweden
you have,
nice.
you have Germany and Mexico.
Wow,
coming
you're
up.
deep down the hole.
You're one of the
I had that random game for them drawing. Okay. Yeah.
Betting on the tie, bet on the McNabb.
Betting on the tie is so boring and awful, by the way. It's like people
Because
who
It's like betting on the under.
Yeah.
There's been no 0-0
psychotic.
games.
You got to be a little psychotic to bet on that, dude.
Yeah. So today we're talking, speaking of psychotic, we have a Nick Cage game that we'll get into a little bit later on.
Oh, my God, yeah. Is the first answer face-off? Don't change the first answer.
What would our audience do if we just talked about the NBA draft for this show?
I think they'd be fine.
I'm sure they'd be fine,
Yeah.
actually. I'd probably just read this article I clicked on from 538.
Yeah.
The most promising players in the NBA draft, according to
The
my
Ringer,
computer.
just read the Ringer guide. Be like, this is all from Kevin O'Connor, not our guy, but he was on our podcast once.
Yeah,
But
see?
we actually do have some NFL stuff, but if you're a good boy, Thomas.
We'll get there.
Am I a good boy?
Wait, what was your name growing up? Like when you were
you
in
a
trouble, did
Thomas
they call
or
you Thomas or like TJ?
Tommy again.
Thomas.
Thomas J. Schreier. Are you a J. Schreier?
No, I guess it'd be
C. Schreier?
S.
No,
Thomas S. Schreier the third.
Yeah.
Get in here.
Get your
Was that what it
upstairs. Or just Tommy. Tommy.
Oh,
Oh my God, he's Tommy Boy.
yeah, you Tommy boy.
Yeah.
With the
This changes the game.
Yeah.
How did we not
Tommy
think of
was
this?
more frequent. Tommy was more frequent.
See,
So were you in more trouble when it was Tommy or when it was Thomas?
It was Tommy. I think Thomas.
Really?
Thomas would be
That's
more. That
unusual.
was something stupid to say, which happened a lot.
Thomas.
Thomas, we're at the dinner table.
see, how
Thomas, control Riles.
How did we not think? How did we not think of Tommy Boy, Tommy Knocker? It's like
I can't believe we hadn't thought of Tommy Boy,
Yeah.
especially because they would both have the same amount of success running for office.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite
Kill
movies.
Whitey.
Maybe my favorite movie. Hands down.
Tommy Boy?
It's a great movie.
It is good.
It's pretty good. I don't know if
pretty
I
good.
ever put it
Young
in my
David
favorites,
Spade.
but
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
you're a Tommy, so you've got
Yeah.
a little
Coneheads
eyes.
is better.
Coneheads.
Dan Aykroyd, dude, robbed of an Oscar.
Joe Dirt,
I'm going to say
underrated.
Joe Dirt.
The scene I always die is when Rob Lowe comes into town on like the Greyhound bus, and then the kid behind him is like making faces, and just bam, what? Because you know that would actually hurt because Greyhound buses are crap, so it's probably plexiglass.
It's an actual subliminal
Well,
shot
we should
at Greyhound.
we should ask Conor
the
McGregor about that.
Oh wow, that's like a good recall. That happened like
But it was pretty big when it happened.
was pretty big.
It happened like a month ago, except it feels like 3 weeks if you've or like 3 months if you've been at tour.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens. But today, talk a little bit of training. Oh, also Luke's here. Luke _
Hey,
Spinman.
how you doing, man?
Hey, Luke,
it feels
what's
good.
going on?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
How was camp?
Camping was nuts, man. Camping was nuts. We hiked about 26 total miles in about 3.5, 4 days.
Jesus.
The weather was good, but just to kind of unplug a little bit and get up there. Superior hiking trails up by Duluth, up by Lutzen, Grand Marais. Beautiful up there, especially at night.
I remember Grand Marais because back in the day,
Not a lot
2002 Minnesota State Class A state football championship. We played Grand Marais,
That's wild.
and they did not score more points than we did.
Nice.
So it's also
great
very
news for
key.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Touche.
yeah. So they're weak up there, but it's okay. Someone not weak, become a subscriber of ZoneCoverage.com. Tom, hit him with the details.
$23.99 for a subscription. You get a B-Dubs card, a My Burger card,
My burger.
a T-shirt. We're going to work on some customized T-shirts as well.
Wait, are we
And,
giving out the gray or the white?
You can choose.
Oh,
Yeah. So gray or white, you choose a size. We'll work on some custom T-shirts as well, and maybe some other perks down the line, and then obviously first class content.
Also, we should select one random person a month to go on a trip with Luke.
Oh, wow.
You want to go hiking with just some random dudes?
That sounds right up Luke's alley, actually.
I mean,
Looks like you want to just barbecue.
honestly, dude, the more I think about it, that is a write-off.
I said you'll be written off somewhere in the woods.
Yeah, and here is where, oh, my God. That's it.
Give a follow to the Zone Coverage Twitter machine at Zone Coverage MN. Subscribe, rate, review us on the iTunes as well. So the United States is not in the World Cup.
Yep.
Oh. Huh. Wait, now
that confirmed it for him.
wait, does the host nation have to be in the World Cup?
Wait, they get to be.
Yeah.
Have to be is kind of a weird way to put it.
So Qatar in 4 years gets a team in.
Yeah, or if they're part of a multi-team or multi-country team, yeah.
Well, what happens in 8 years when it's United States, Canada, Mexico?
I have no idea. I assume all three of them are in.
Yeah.
Really, that should only be a gift to Canada.
Yeah.
Because the United States should be in.
The Ringer actually had a really good story on how it all fell apart. Like basically breaking it into 5 stages.
Oh, how the United States screwed up.
Yeah. And there were 2 involved with Klinsmann, but Qatar.
They switched late from Klinsmann, I think, to Arena, right?
Yeah, and it's just that the Federation was too bought in with him, and he screwed the MLS.
He had control of U.S. soccer as well as the U.S. men's national. It was weird how much control he had.
And brought in, the one positive is brought in like Julian Green and some German players. But
right.
I just wonder if Qatar at one point goes, it's too warm. Like, our guys just don't want to play there.
They should have already done that. Like when it was revealed
that they were killing off people to build a stadium.
Yeah. Well, before that, although that also should have been a breaking
Yes.
point. Fair.
Swiping people's passports so they couldn't leave.
Yeah. Usually my countrymen, Bengali immigrants who are slaves now. But even before that, which is actually a fairly normal practice in Qatar for construction projects, so they should have seen that coming. Before that, when it was revealed that the entire bid was done through bribery and corruption, which, like, FIFA, shock. When it was revealed that the entire bid was done, they could have just redone it, because everyone knows it's disastrous to hold a Summer World Cup in Qatar. Like, it's going to be 122 degrees.
There was like a Colbert line where he's like, you could have just held it underwater. Like, it'd basically be the same thing.
Right.
Like someone will actually die of heat exhaustion. Like some of those flops will be real.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful soccer. I was about to say football, but I realized I didn't want to be that kind of person.
Not on this podcast.
No, I know you'd have to flail your scarf around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, football. Sorry, football.
How did the scarf start?
Well, it's a
Especially for-
European thing.
But for an outdoor sport, it is kind of funny that the scarf is like a
Well, I mean, but they play a lot in the fall and the winter, and in like England.
How many scarves are going to be sold at Cutter?
none.
I mean, you can pin them up in your room, right?
Yeah.
So there's some. But yeah, like the soccer's going to be awful because the players are going to be exhausted just by existing there in the summer. There are definitely fans that are going to die. There's no question in my head about that.
You can only drink so
100%.
much Budweiser.
100%.
Right.
Official beer sponsor of the World Cup.
Oh yeah, that was like awkward in Brazil too, wasn't it? And that's going to be awkward in Qatar too. But yeah, after it was revealed that it was all done through bribery, they should have been like, "Oh yeah, no, that's the reason we're shifting it from this awful location that's terrible." They have to.
Well, who else was in the bidding?
Everyone. Like, the United States was certainly in the bidding.
Oh yeah, because Obama spearheading that, right?
Yeah.
The weird thing is, have you ever looked back? It's like Olympic facilities. Like, look back at what they are now.
Yeah, it's not quite as bad, but it is awful.
Yeah, Atlanta's trash.
You know that Atlanta was one of the few places they actually reused for the
Yeah, Atlanta is
Braves.
one of the success stories.
Except it became not so when they literally didn't hold a vote and just moved the team to the suburbs.
Right, yeah. But most of the Brazilian facilities, or a country crazy about soccer, the Brazilian World Cup facilities are like disused and falling in disrepair and already crumbling.
Yeah.
South Africa, it's pretty bad.
Which one is it that like someone went and tried to check in and they're like, there are all the rooms available?
Well, there's
Whatever you want, dude.
Well, they did
Here's
that
the
for the
keys.
Olympics in Sochi.
Yeah,
Before they
maybe
got
that's what I was thinking.
kicked out.
Yeah.
The United States came in second place, losing 14-8 in the final round, and it was just a bunch of cities, mainly Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago was the big one.
Yeah.
Which that's not a terrible place for it.
Now they're doing a good job though. They're like kind of we didn't get it here because they want it to be outdoors, but
Right.
you could go to Kansas City, which I think is actually a pretty good option, or you could go to Chicago. But it seems like they kind of
use Arrowhead Stadium?
Yeah, I think Arrowhead.
That would be amazing.
No, I'm pretty sure that's in
That'd
play.
be-
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and
Only
we
if Mahomes is there.
Well, right. We actually sent Naylor down there, and he said the Kansas City, they obviously won't play in the MLS stadium, but the MLS environment was phenomenal for
Yeah,
the
that makes
Minnesota
sense.
game.
Who's the best team in the MLS? And then we'll move on to football. As well.
That's
Timbers?
really
The
good. No,
Portland
it's not. It's not the Timbers.
Oh.
Is it the Sounders?
Some friggin' Oregon team.
Because all of that area is Oregon.
I feel like that fits their sensibility.
No, you know what? Honestly, the top of the Eastern Conference is Atlanta United, which is a new team. Sporting Kansas City and Dallas are
Sporting KC.
But LAFC, which is new too, is number 3.
Compare the Minnesota United to an NFL team.
United would be.
Is that?
I'm trying to think of new, like a little bit sub 500. I mean, they
Texans?
like Texans.
Not as good as the Texans.
is
How
a
about the
good-
Titans?
The Texans is a good call. Titans. I don't know. Texans is a good call.
All right, there you go. Texans. Switching over to football, Vikings training camp dates have been announced. Rookies will arrive Tuesday, July 24th. Vets come in, sweeping in Friday the 27th. Are they staying in a centralized location, or will they be able to go home?
I don't know. I think they're going to have to stay in the hotel, though.
Yep.
They're going to put them on. There should be a hotel.
The
I don't
Egan
know,
Ramada.
block
The Egan
somewhere.
Ramada.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. Also changing is the no more sort of YOLO, show up, do whatever. They got 5,000 tickets for every single day, and 4,000 will be general admission, 1,000 will be reserve tickets in the Twin Cities Orthopedics Quick Trip Red Zone every day. Cool. Season ticket holders will get first crack, and I read a couple pieces. It's conflicting here because are reserve tickets every day for $20-$25, or is that just for the Jaguars joint practices? Because I've read like 3 different things and they conflict.
Based off of what they said at the presser during the draft, I assume it's for every day.
Yeah, because that makes most sense for me. Because otherwise, the 1,000 reserve tickets, like what's so special about them? Because
Right.
you have to reserve the general admission as well.
Yeah. So the way that they described the process during the draft was that so obviously season ticket holders get the first bite at it, but anyone can show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in order to be guaranteed admission, there's like 5,000 seats. And you have to pay to get to be guaranteed a spot.
Yep.
And they expect given the attendance in Mankato, which is in Mankato, given the attendance that they had, that they'll be able to fill up this.
Well, it's all those Mankatoites taking a break from Ribfest, just sleeping it off.
Yeah.
That's your people.
Yeah.
Those are our kind of people.
Yeah. I think every day.
Drive down to Mankato during Ribfest just to say hello.
Just for the memories. Yeah. We'll just drive down stadium.
Can you imagine tacked out Viking stuff? Go up,
you can see the
up.
tumbleweeds. Because I was thinking, Mankato, phenomenal city. I can't think of the next time I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be a while.
It's unfortunate.
It'll be a while.
It's a great town. But yeah, they'll sell out every day because new stadium, centralized location here with the cities. So you'll have to reserve your tickets online. Also, everyone's going to digital tickets. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't love it. It doesn't affect me that much,
Yeah.
but there's a bunch of people that save the ticket stubs, and I feel for them.
We have to take a screenshot of our e-tickets and then print them out, or 3D print them. Probably a couple of years.
3D print them.
That's all we'll do. So
just a plastic e-ticket.
5,000 seats for comparative. Blakesley Stadium was 7,500 for the night practice, but I mean that get up to around 10 once start jamming people in the end zones. But it'll be fine. It'll be new. It'll be different. Parking limited to 2,200 spots. I did not know that that's not a lot. Because it sounds like a lot. But
that's kind of a difficult thing for them, right? Because they only have to care about parking for 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
And then after they've just got a bunch of wasted parking space.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have a bunch of transportation set up, some sort of bus system or
you know, some sort of
shuttle.
They were looking into that. Yeah.
And also, the parking must be purchased in advance as well, online for $10. The vaunted night practice is going to be August 4th. That's Saturday evening. Joint practice with the Jaguars is going to be August 15th, 16th, leading up to their preseason tilt. So that'll be fun.
That's going to be great.
Yeah. Not a lot of scoring.
Well, that's fine. See Blake Bortles up close and personal. If you're casting a movie for a quarterback, you'd pick Blake Bortles, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? No. He's balding like me, which I just want to put that out there.
Hater.
He's got a little chub. No. That's like picking Ben Roethlisberger. He's built like a quarterback, kind of.
Bortles would be like an accountant.
Yeah. People
Who do you go with?
People I don't pick. Bortles,
Andrew
Winston, Roethlisberger.
Why not Winston? Winston is charismatic.
He's got chub.
Well, no.
He does have chub.
Oh, fat Jameis, bam and lamb. Had too much ham. All right, so who's the one quarterback who would be like the movie? Would it be Garoppolo?
You mean besides Tom Brady? Yeah, Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Wow. It is Garoppolo, isn't it?
It has to be.
I got to pick Cam, too.
Cam's
What about
Cam
one?
is...
Yeah,
If you're like doing an NFL,
He's the rival team that you got
Blitz
to beat
the
in the
movie.
championship.
He also plays DN. He's a two-way player.
That's
how he
great.
rolls. Yeah. Someone who... Oh, speaking of ham, there you go. Vikings signed linebacker Mike Needham, 2018 UDFA out of Southern Utah, to make room to cut Herc. With a medical...
Waved him with an injury designation.
Yeah. But Needham, he's 6'3", 224, also ran a 4.53 40. So, I know what you're thinking. Money backer. It's happening.
Special team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, that linebacker position gets thin pretty quick all of a sudden, doesn't it? I mean, you got your big boys, Barr and Kendricks. Gideon, obviously, is going to play a big role. But with brothers out, all of a sudden it's like Eric Wilson. And then you're looking at Garrett Dooley. Is he going to make the 53?
Right.
Somebody like that is going to make the 53 at linebacker.
Yeah,
unless they just want to go 5-6 guys and wait for brothers to get back.
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
guess
not much, man.
Sean Washington must have been like, man, if it was only available, this year or last year. Yeah, no, it's tough. I guess. Antoine Williams. This is
you got your two, and then you got Gideon,
and Devontae Downs is going to be out for the year too, right?
Wow.
Just because they drafted him to be out for the year,
right? Yeah, Eric Wilson might be playing a big role here.
You had to spend that 7th rounder just to make sure you had him,
right?
Yeah, which is important. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird. So we need to put rosaries and light a candle for the health of Anthony Barr, even though half the fan base wants to cut him. And then also Eric Kendricks.
What a weird dynamic. Isn't he the guy he's been really good.
Yeah.
They drafted him over Mansell. Well, he also
right.
was the guy that took out Rodgers. Like, how is he not a fan favorite?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, how come no one wants to buy him a beer and just like hang out?
It's
Like,
a
hey,
tough
what's
life.
up?
It's a tough life out there, man.
Hey, Anthony Barr, we're in a bar, and your name is Anthony. It's great. This is fantastic. It is weird. Like, he's got a little bit of, not to the level of Ricky Rubio, but a little bit of, he's a good player for what he's asked to do. But some fans are like, let him go.
He doesn't, what is it? He doesn't rush the quarterback enough.
Yeah, even though he's got that skill set.
Yeah.
Which, although he is taking defensive end drills at mandatory minicamp.
I think a lot of people would say at the end of the day, I would definitely like to keep Anthony Barr, but we're always kind of stuck with this. Well, you only get to keep 2 of the 3 now with Barr, Hunter, or Diggs. And ultimately, I think a lot of people end up coming to the conclusion that of those 3, like you have to keep Hunter and Diggs. I think Barr just becomes a little bit more expendable.
But what if he becomes a D-end full-time?
Let's go.
Pretty unlikely. Let's go throw that out there.
Well, I'll go a step further. Pretty much not going to happen, but whatever. Don't care. Something I do care about, Denny Green, Ring of Honor, Week 3 versus Bills. The only Ring of Honor inductee this year. Great honor. Shame that it is posthumous, but I feel like Denny was always underrated as the Vikings head coach.
I think so.
You get finished with a winning record.
He had 9 years, right?
Yeah, and
10.
what, 10 years.
Yeah.
8 of them were winning seasons, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Coach really tough personalities. Like, he could have locker room issues. Yeah.
Yeah. And those locker room issues bubbled up with Mike Tice.
Yeah.
Like Denny was a player's coach. Mike Tice still thought he was a player.
I mean, you really realize what a joke. I mean, Tice and Chili Willy, and you had to get to Leslie to have like a decent.
I'll say this for Tyus. I feel like he would have gotten a lot better if he had gotten more of a chance.
Yeah.
He also was scalping tickets.
I mean, yeah, but I mean
wouldn't
who
you?
Isn't like
right.
it's still happening. Like,
Arif's got
you just got
tickets.
caught.
It's not now. You don't have. It's all electronic. So it's good. There's nothing wrong on the internet.
Yeah,
Seriously,
right.
like, Tice was the lowest paid head coach in the league for like his entire 10 years. So am I going to
Red was cheap.
Yeah. Am I going to fault the guy for picking up an extra $1,500? No. Whatever.
That's fair.
Shoot.
Shoot.
But yeah, speaking of it, I feel like Tice overachieved given the circumstances of McCombs being just like an atrocious owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, thinking back now, like if Denny didn't quit/get fired after 2001, I don't know how long he would have lasted with McCombs because he was that terrible of an owner.
Right. Yeah.
But like Arif said, Denny had 8 playoff seasons out of 9, which ain't bad. Also, the one year he did make the playoffs in 95, they went 8-8. So whatever.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's
So no losing seasons.
as a down
except for the last
year,
one, yeah.
that's
Okay,
not
except
bad.
for one losing season in 10 years. And obviously, outside of
It's like
Minnesota,
a reverse Jeff Fisher.
a couple Arizona years.
Yep. Did not go great.
Obviously,
didn't go
the big
great.
Urlacher Monday night game.
Yeah,
the
we thought they
debacle,
were.
the meltdown.
Yeah.
Denny, like growing up, Denny was my coach, man. Like this rotund guy with the weird voice is like, yeah.
My lasting image actually has to be Randy Moss's impression of Denny Green, which is phenomenal.
But I mean,
It's outstanding. I think I have that somewhere tweeted, actually.
Tom, pull it up. You got to play it.
I'll find it.
No, I'm trying to think
Denny.
exactly what he
Sounds
says.
so
What does he
upset
say?
that you're doing your job.
I only like music.
Find it.
I'll find it.
It's not 90s hip hop.
all right, so second winningest coach in franchise history behind Bud, 97-62, has a 610 winning percentage. For comparison, Zimmer has a 609. Nice. And before the year he got fired, going 5-10 before quitting the last game, he won a playoff game in 4 straight years, which is hard to do. It's okay. Also had
And Marvin Lewis couldn't do it.
Also had 2 NFC title game appearances in there. And he bungled the end of the Falcons NFC title game. Like he should have been more aggressive on offense. We get that.
This is a sketchy knockoff. Just FYI.
what?
It is.
All right, well, let's play it.
That computer just got a virus.
One hit before the phone rang. Hey, Randy, it's Coach Green.
Hey, Randy, it's Coach Green.
It's Tyrone Bigham.
It's Tyrone, dude. That was the tweet like 3 years ago when I went. Hey, Randy, it's Coach Green. It's Coach Green. I smoke rocks.
Yeah, but
Great guy.
yeah, he was my coach growing up, and like his legacy, like he broke down a lot of barriers. He was the only second modern era African American head coach in the NFL. He was when he was hired at Northwestern as head coach in '81. He was the second African American head coach in 1AA history, and '81 wasn't that long ago.
Insane, considering that there's like 100 at the time. There was like 115 schools in 1AA. Like, not even by accident. Like what?
Yeah. Also, we forget Bill Walsh's disciple. Like, he spent a lot of time with him. San Francisco, Stanford. He was his offensive coordinator, and it's like this could have worked out. Also, bugged me too, like the Rich Gannon thing. I know that Denny sort of punted Gannon after '92, but if they would have stuck it out, Rich Gannon seemed to do pretty okay in a Bill Walsh's West Coast offense when he got the chance.
Yeah, he did. He did all right in his West Coast. Yeah.
Mildly okay. He still lives in Twin Cities, doesn't he, Rich Gannon?
Does he?
Yeah. I feel like he lives in Mound.
I'm going to Google it right now.
Mound seems about
Wasn't
right.
he getting into a few Viking broadcast games right after he retired, and then nothing really happened? I want to say maybe Fox.
I think he's done like radio as a color guy.
Yeah.
Or maybe some like third or fourth team TV. Actually, no, CBS.
Wait, Bill Brown is Rich Gannon's father-in-law? I did not know that.
Wait.
Former Vikings running back Bill Brown.
Yeah.
Arif learned things.
Wasn't Bill Brown the number one
Live.
overall pick in '61?
Yeah.
Or was that Ted Brown?
I think it was Bill Brown.
One of the Browns. Yeah.
No. Pick 20 in the draft,
Yeah.
1961.
There you go. See, Rich Gannon, ties, run deep. If you cut him, he bleeds.
He bleeds, dude.
Yeah, he lives in Minnesota because he organizes an annual celiac disease foundation walk in Victoria, Minnesota, which is where the other Minnesotan, Frank Ragnow's from. The one other Minnesotan.
Wow.
The only other guy in Victoria, Minnesota.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Another guy who's in Minnesota right now, Josh Norris. So is a fantasy football convention
so, yeah.
going on right now? So he tweeted this out. Scott
This is
Kuhn,
cool.
who works on the analytics side of the Vikings front office, mentioned a goal has been to create a quarterback rating-like number for every position in order to compare players more consistently. So coming soon, 3-tech rating. Kind of excited. What's the one position that will benefit most for the average fan if they get like a solid metric?
That's tough.
I feel like safety would
It
be a good
depends
one.
on sort of like what the inputs for the metric are. So if the inputs include athleticism as well as college production, probably edge rusher.
Yep.
It gets you a better understanding of like which college prospects have like the best, the quarterback rating kind of thing. If we're just talking about NFL production and you have an NFL style rating or QB style rating.
Guard.
Guard, definitely. Safety is interesting. I think the linebacker would be phenomenal to see because also Josh Norris talked about how they're seeing if the chip data that's being used can be used to accurately test a depth of tackle. And if you account for depth of tackle, I think you can separate the good tackles from the bad tackles, and that'll give you a better understanding.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, and that'll give you good statistical foundation to start rating linebackers based off of the kinds of tackles that they have.
Doesn't PFF already do something similar to that at linebacker? Don't they kind of able to disengage a good tackle from a bad tackle?
Yeah, for sure. But imagine you're the defensive coach and you know what the assignment is,
correct?
Right? So you've got access to all the data in the world. And it can be compiled quickly, and then you can back check that data.
That would be pretty primo.
Yeah. So I bet linebacker, if you've got a passer rating for your linebackers, that would be fantastic.
Well, it's like cornerbacks have quarterback rating. I feel like that's really helped people when they're talking about
Big
corners.
time.
Yeah.
Also, he talked about, I'm just paraphrasing here, but how the Vikings are measuring athletes.
Yeah.
Right after athletes' metrics.
So he mentioned something that is a little bit different from what I kind of expected based off of my knowledge of the Vikings sort of process for athleticism. So The Vikings are creating their own composite athletic score for athletes. I don't know if it's position specific or not, but they're definitely one of the things they learned is you need to incorporate weight, and I imagine that they're position specific. But one of the things that they used to do, and I imagine is still part of the process, is a lot of times they created these athletic comparison groups, and so they would fit a player into athletic comparison groups based off of the workouts, based off of the history of players who produce similar numbers of that workout, and so they can get kind of a projection on a career.
Yep.
That's a little bit different than what I do, which is I do kind of a multiple variable linear regression on the individual variables that lead to generalized success in the NFL. And that's kind of what Josh Norris's tweet sounds like they're doing. So I don't know if they're combining the two approaches or if this is one way for them to describe the second approach or something like that. I'd love to talk to him actually to see about that. But yeah.
Well, Arif, how come you aren't credentialed for the fantasy football convention?
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like
I
it's a fantasy football
personally barred you from this event.
You emailed them beforehand.
Too much nerdness.
Speaking of nerdness, you're going to an analytics conference tonight. So that's why you're only going to be around for hour one.
Yeah.
Stevens Point?
Yeah, it's in Stevens Point. It's the Great Lakes Analytics and Sports Conference. Last year they had a lot of football talks. This year, not as many. But I'll be able to see Eric Eager, Pro Football Focus
friend
guy.
of the show, Dr. Eric Eager.
I give another talk. I'll be able to talk to some people about college football metrics and stuff like that.
Wait, you're giving a talk?
No. Oh,
damn
Jesus Christ!
That would be amazing.
That would be.
Wait, what would be your topic? What if they're like,
just play your epic speech that's already viral?
Yes.
Just say, okay,
the
and then
debate
dim
one?
the lights.
When you're
and
like
then just
speaking in
play that
tongues,
one.
dude.
Yeah, the debate one. Just play that.
now, what if the head
Everybody
of
just
the conference said, hey, Arif, we lost a speaker, got hit by a bus. We need you to step in. We'll give you $1,000 tomorrow. Talk for half an hour on whatever subject you want. What would you pick?
Well, until the $1,000, I would have told them to dig back into their backlog. I'm sure there were other people that wanted to speak more than me, but
$1,000 Canadian, so it's even more.
Yeah.
There you go.
As soon as you said $1,000,
Get paid in weed.
Come back October 17th.
You get a brick.
Just probably how writers should use analytics and the way that they approach it, because I think a lot of ways that, especially the Cleveland media, a lot of ways that that journalists approach analytics is.
I have no idea who you're talking about specifically.
This is
I would never name names.
This is an all sports deal. You said they're not talking. Okay, what is picking up most traction? Because it seems like baseball's had it for a while.
Yeah,
and there's always an emphasis that basketball is up and coming, but it feels like they've had their moment too, because you have Houston is really good, and analytics just seem to have penetrated basketball. Like, what's kind of up and coming in terms of trending in terms of analytics?
Well, I think one of the things that's going to matter is this NFL tracking data being accessible to every team. So it used to be that the chip data that exists in football player pads,
which Sport Radar, I believe, our local company here, is digging into. That
used to only be available for your own team in games that you played in. And so you never got very much context for the data that was produced. Now you get access to all the data for all the teams, and that'll allow you to test all kinds of hypotheses against each other, and figure out sort of like, hey, defensively, when we've got a single high safety, it makes more sense to line up our strong safety at this depth, or this depth, and test that again, and see what do opposing teams do at different depths. How effective is it?
It's kind of like shifts in baseball in the spray chart. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. And so you can figure out sort of in certain defenses which techniques, because there's two pads, so you can get directional data, which is great. Sort of which techniques maybe matter more. The Vikings run a lot of cover one, and they do kind of an unusual thing with their cornerbacks where they spin them kind of in the opposite direction in order to get them to resolve basically the stiffness concerns that both Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes have. Is that better? Is that worse? You can kind of figure out which techniques might be better, and you can actually test it against like the thousands and thousands of snaps. Or you might be able to figure out hey, these defensive ends, this guy had a great 3-cone, this guy had a great vertical. Should we change their alignment based off of what their athletic testing is? And so you can test a lot of that. And I think that, and I think it'll take years for NFL teams to be okay even thinking about it like that. But I think that might be kind of the next phase. It'll also give us the ability to figure out sort of kind of which defensive line strategies, just how often you rotate them, which is better. The Eagles, they had this defensive line rotation that was insane. Fletcher Cox only played like 58% of their snaps.
Nuts. They had about 9 different guys they could have plugged in there.
Yeah, there are nose tackles.
That they were plugged in there. Bo Allen.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham.
Freaking Bo Allen.
Yeah, Timmy Jernigan, right? They both played like 220 to 240 snaps. Like, you can figure out, I think, based off of that, at what point your defensive players on the defensive line start wearing down or start getting tired, and then you can optimize what that snap count should be. Because the Eagles did a lot. The Vikings didn't do it a ton. They're doing it a little bit more and more. And they both had really great defensive lines. Obviously, we saw what happened in the NFC Championship game, but we don't know if that's because we got out-schemed or if it's because of a fatigue thing or the offensive line, which was always kind of in trouble, kind of just got exposed. Like, we don't know really what the reason is because the Eagles have a great offensive line. The Vikings getting stymied there doesn't make it. But we can test in thousands of snaps sort of what maybe the optimal defensive line rotation is. So that might be kind of the best the next frontier in sports, just because all of this information is available to us.
Who's the Rockets or who's like the team, the Oakland A's for baseball and football? Like, who do you think adapts
probably
first?
the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would want to say the Browns because of Sashi, but it didn't filter down into their coaching.
Patriots?
The Patriots are also a really good candidate for that. They invest in analytics a lot. They use it a lot. I would say they're more like the Spurs.
Where did the Vikings rank?
They used to rank actually pretty low.
Okay.
But with the promotion of Kuhn, who actually came up from the scouting side, not from he used to just be a scout, which I think provides a unique flavor to the way they run their analytics department. Yeah. I would say the Vikings are probably now in the top 10, although it's harder to break in there because more and more teams are using data-centric approaches, even when they say they don't.
Sit in the analytics meeting with Zimmer, just like arms crossed,
chew in mouth,
has 2 dips in his lower lip and 1 in his upper lip, just because he knows that this is going to be a dick dragger. That's how it goes through.
Yeah, well, Numbers also said that this would kill me, points to dip.
Swallows it, vomits.
Gets back up, pounds his chest. Yeah. That's how you do.
Zimmer strikes me as the kind of guy who doesn't have a spit cup.
He did when he does.
Definitely.
But I can see him
because he's a Grizzly man.
I bet he guts it more frequently than you ever should.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Some of you should also put in your gut. MyBurgerUSA.com. Right around the corner, family owned, operated, obsessed over 2004, serving made to order burgers. They're phenomenal, especially after like a triple dip. Hand pressed to
I bet they taste better coming up than dip.
Yeah. Going out on a limb. That's why people listen for the hot takes. But hot takes, burgers, hand pressed perfection, fresher, taste better, shocker. Hand dipped malts as well, locally baked gluten-free buns, salads, and sweet potato fries, plus beer, because burgers, beer, can't go wrong. 520 C's locations, Stadium Village, Richfield, Calhoun, Skyway, Minneapolis, and also St. Paul, Mac Grove, Lind. Go to our online as well, My Burger USA. Plus, big perk, subscribe, become a Zone Coverage subscriber, get a free burger from My Burger. That's what you do. Also, what we do is complain about how low Vikings are on the NFL Top 100. So, pretty sure the last guy has been revealed. Everson Griffin at number 19. What is up?
Top 20 player.
Too low.
Top 20 player in the league? I mean,
first half of the season, yeah. After the plantar fasciitis in his foot, I would say he probably wasn't even in the top.
What a crazy statement, though. Like, most athletes wouldn't play with that. You know
that's
what I mean?
nuts.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Especially as a guy who has to push off in every single play.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, it's not like playing safety. Like, you're gliding around.
His first half of the season last year, 10 sacks in 8 games, had a sack in every single one of those 8 games. Like, how was it made to start? Like, there was
Jared Allen stuff. Like,
there was talk that he'd be flirting with the sack record.
Yeah.
Mainly just me. He's gonna break it.
Yep.
Yeah, but
And the worst part is that the injury occurred on like the last snap of the freaking Browns game in London.
The Browns
Like, it didn't matter.
game in London.
blowout game against the Browns. You're heading to the long bye week, and you're on garbage turf. But hey, Everson, get back out there because we need you to play 80% of the snaps.
That has to be why they played the entire fourth quarter of the Bengals game with the third string. Like,
Right.
It's like, we don't want that to happen again. Nick Easton, get back
Can you
out there.
imagine they consult the analytics guy and they're like, no, it's not the numbers. It's just don't do that.
Yeah, dude. You don't see these. You don't need these. Don't do it.
No, the analytics guys were in Zimmer's ears like, no, these numbers extrapolate over the long run, so we have to get there. It's like, all right, 97, 99, get back out there. It's like, shoot. Yeah.
13 seconds left.
But we're pretty sure that's it, unless Anthony DeBar stuffed the ballot box. Everson was at 19, Thielen at 36, Harrison 46, Xavier 55, Diggs 65. Who cares? Linval 83, Cousins 94.
You see, if you personally ordered the Vikings players, it would not be in the order that the NFL Top 100 put them in, right?
Oh.
Harry at the top, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Teddy on top.
Yeah,
please, sir.
Teddy on top, and then Harry.
Yeah, Teddy. No, but when I look at Everson, I think, arguably, if not the best base 4-3 defensive end. You look at the best 3-4 guy, maybe Joey Bosa. Maybe the best 3-4 edge rusher, stand-up guy, Von Miller. Those guys are all good. Those three are all interchangeable depending on what kind of defensive scheme you play, in my opinion. So I think at the end of the day, Everson and those three probably ranks the lowest, and he's 19th. I bet you those two. Joey Bosa hasn't been ranked yet, I don't think, right?
I don't know.
I'm sure Von Miller's going to be top 10 every year. Von Miller's in the top 10. I'm sure Joey Bosa will be in this top 19 here, too. So
yeah, it'll be.
It seems about right for me.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Everson Griffin this year, because obviously he's a year older and he's kind of at the older end in terms of defensive end play.
Turns 31 in December.
I mean, his best opportunity to approach a sack record, have a career season, was last season, and it's not like he didn't do well in the final analysis like he did.
Is Everson our generation's Jim Marshall?
No.
Not that good?
Maybe that
he can do it for
but
4 more years, I think.
Yeah, he'd have to do it for quite a bit longer. The problem is he doesn't have the first 4 years to work with in order to build up to Jim Marshall's
Montgomery reps count.
Yeah, my bad.
Amazing. Just freaking amazing. Also amazing. All right, so Tom, pull up some background music. We got a game. I'm going to modify it. So this is called the Nick Cage scale. And we're going to go through the Minnesota Fighting Vikings starters. And I have linked a Nick Cage movie to the starter. And we'll play it instead of everyone coming up with their own. How about you just critique mine?
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. There's no rhyme or reason for why the movie is linked. It could be because the score is high or the score is low.
Some are pretty
Or
good.
it could be like the name makes sense to me. So, there you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
You didn't put 9mm anywhere on here, right?
8mm.
8mm.
Yeah.
You didn't, right?
Of course I did.
Oh, God.
Go back. That's a rough movie.
That's a weird
I don't see
theme.
it.
Also, imagine watching that as a kid.
Yeah, I don't see it.
He's
Don't
not.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Leslie Frazier's 8mm. Go back and watch the film. Yeah. Even though 8mm is the antithesis of
Watch the film.
Leslie Frazier.
It's also the antithesis of Watch the Film.
Yeah.
It's like the plot of the movie. Please do not do this.
What's the song?
And it goes a little something like this. Tag team back again.
All right. So starting off with Nick Cage. Also, I think we've talked
You're
about
all Nick Cage. So.
we talked about this
Starting off with
before.
Kirk Cousins.
The
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
we need to see the movies that Nick
Not
Cage
a bad
passes on, like in the past 4 years.
Does he? I heard he doesn't.
He just does every movie that's tossed in front of him.
Yeah.
Because he's got to pay his tax bill.
Right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
That's how it usually goes.
That's
All right.
what I think he's paid it off. I think, but now he's in a habit.
Yeah.
Might as well.
So starting with Kirk Cousins, I picked The Wicker Man, 2006.
I don't even know the plot.
Rotten Tomato score,
Never
15%.
heard of her.
Jeez.
The Wicker Man?
15.
See, I picked
I mean,
The
I
Wicker
can
Man
IMDb it.
because I think if the season goes wonky a little bit this year, Kirk Cousins could be the straw man. Like, even if he's playing well. I think because it's a remake of a movie from like the late 70s where they draw this guy to this island. There's a
The
cult,
Wicker Man, 1973.
and then like they burn him
87
as like a
Metascore.
human sacrifice in this giant like wicker man.
Oh, okay. So they put a real human
Yeah.
inside a wicker human.
Yeah.
Wait, so does Nick Cage get burned?
Yeah. This is the one where you get the meme about the bees. Oh God, the bees.
Oh, you just lead with that next time.
3.7 out of 10 and 36 Metascore.
It's kind of rough.
Not great, Bob.
Next up, running back Dalvin Cook, Grindhouse, 2007, 83 on Rotten Tomatoes. Picked it because hopefully Dalvin just
grinds out those yards, dude.
There's a very loose association. Also,
Yeah, sure.
I feel like
it works.
83 is pretty close to his
Also,
Madden
he'll
rating.
kill a bunch of people.
Right.
83 is pretty close to his Madden rating this year.
Yeah, all right.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go.
I never saw Grindhouse. Is
It's
it
not like 20 minutes.
Is this a Robert Rodriguez movie?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Next up, move to wide receiver because we're skipping CJ Ham. Sorry. Stephon Diggs, well, Matchstick Men, 2003, 82. Just because this one is about con men, super slick, and Stephon Diggs. I mean, come on. Of all the adjectives, slick, smooth, suave, Stephon Diggs.
Silky.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way. Very kind of low-key under the radar. You
Yeah.
ever seen it?
No, it's a great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. The kid's phenomenal in it, too.
Sam Rockwell. Really good. Didn't like him?
No, Sam Rockwell's great. Like, Sam Rockwell is creeping up in my Ben Foster, Woody Harrelson scale where they're good and everything.
Wow, I like that.
All right.
Like, have you guys heard of the movie Moon?
Oh,
Got Sam
great
Rockwell
movie.
in it.
Great movie.
Never heard of it.
Super creepy.
I think it's on Netflix right now.
Is it?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good movie. Check that one out. This is just a big. All right, Sam Rockwell scale. Screw it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Adam Thielen. I picked Con Air.
Why?
97, 55 because
It's only got a 55.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Connor should be at least in the 70s.
Wow.
John Cusack.
Can't believe I agree with Luke on this.
yeah.
Do you want to come over later?
Thielen strikes me
Con Air, man.
as the Cameron Poe type. You know, like the very home folksy, always wants to do the right thing even in terrible situations. That's Adam Thielen.
And
I
he kind of
guess.
got screwed over. Like
Yeah.
Thielen didn't get any D1 offers,
Yeah.
and he kind of had to go the long way.
Son, you should know that you were a killing machine.
Society.
So the three drunk hillbillies in the parking lot, you should just let them kill you. Or like also Thielen, like he sacrifices himself for the greater good, just like he sacrificed himself for all the Keenum hospital balls last year. Just like Cameron Poe could have got off the plane, but he's like, no, this ain't right. I gotta get back on the plane.
New game. Can we play
His
the Con
accent
Air
was
game?
So bad.
Can we play the Con Air game? John Malkovich, Cyrus the Virus Grissom.
Yes. Oh my God.
Malkovich is also up there in the
Would
Woody
that be
Harrelson
Harrison
scale.
Smith?
But,
Cyrus the
but we,
Virus?
but we
Yeah.
know that Malkovich is good and everything. Like that's the point of
Malkovich is good.
Malkovich.
Maybe it should be the Malkovich scale.
Ving Rhames, Diamond Dog. Dave Chappelle, Pinball.
Yes. Oh. Oh, who's
Steve
the,
Buscemi?
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Buscemi was the serial killer,
Yeah,
right? With the-
Garland Green.
Marietta Mangle,
Yeah.
something.
All right, next.
Yeah. Laquan Treadwell.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So we picked the movie Left Behind 2014, which I've never seen, but
Wait, Nick Cage isn't Left Behind?
I feel like the name is apropos.
12 on Metascore.
Well,
1%
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of a different Left Behind.
Yeah.
And still, Amazon Prime wants $2.99 to rent it. It should be based off the rating.
So the Left Behind that I saw was the one my Christian roommate brought home once.
Oh, is
which
that
is
like
the James Cameron one? But I forgot.
Kirk Cameron?
Like Kirk Cameron one.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
Cameron. But this one, yeah, I actually did end up seeing also this one with Nick Cage.
You saw both Left Behinds.
Well, the first one was just like my
back to
roommate
back.
was like trying to convert me, and
Yeah.
it didn't work.
Yeah.
The second one was like, oh, I gotta watch this.
It's going to cleanse the other one. It's like an override in your
Yeah,
save
right.
file. Yeah.
This movie was like amazing because it tried to be a Roland Emmerich film,
Yeah.
but like it didn't have like the material to because people just disappear. Like the plot is that
Yeah.
people disappear. It's not like we.
1%.
It's amazing.
So 1% and the name Left Behind. I feel like it's apropos for Treadwell. Sorry, even though he had a good mini camp. Woo. Tight end Kyle Rudolph, City of Angels, 1998. Now this is the one where with like Meg Ryan was the love interest, and like the Goo Goo Doll
It's a
song.
90s movie, so yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
the Goo Goo Doll song.
Meg Ryan
I
did like
don't
5 of those in
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
3 years.
You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail. And then what was the other one where Einstein comes back?
What?
What? You serious?
I feel like you just made up a movie.
Was Meg Ryan
No.
also the love interest in When Harry Met Sally?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
See? That's probably what did it. Anyway, let's
also
talk about
wasn't
this
Sleep
movie.
in Seattle too? But yeah,
Yeah.
City of Angels. I don't remember this movie at all.
that's why it's Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, all right.
But also, there's the Goo Goo Dolls song "Iris."
Oh god, it's called IQ with Tim Robbins.
Thanks, Luke. Iris is a great song.
Yeah,
Great song.
yeah.
Also, Iris, I think, marked the point in the Goo Goo Dolls' career when they went from like poison metal to like only power ballads. They're like, well, Iris did really well. Let's just do this.
They sold out and became Train. That's not
Yeah,
good.
right, exactly.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, that's. Oh my God, I do.
Walter Matthau as
There's
Einstein.
You remember
there's
that?
like a better version of
She
that.
does
where
like
it was,
7 of the same movie in like 3 years.
there's a better version of that where Vincent Van Gogh comes back,
Ooh.
and an even better version of that was a Doctor Who episode.
Both ears.
What if she knocked them all out and just in front of a green screen, and like just was inserted all the movies?
The bitches, I'm getting paid. Let's roll the film. It's a documentary shot in real time. Riley Reef. I picked The Wrestler, 2008, 98.
Love it.
Just a good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah. Also, who would be the Mickey Rourke of the team?
A little too good, I think, for Riley Reef. He's inconsistent.
Would B-Rob be the wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
Age guy
That's
off the
perfect.
top rope. Damn
perfect.
it. I should switch it to B-Rob. I didn't even put B-Rob on the list because he's technically
Yeah, because it's not a starter.
Easton, I picked Captain Corelli's mandolin from. This is not from 2017.
Never.
2000, must be 07. 30 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. He was the last one that I filled in, so I just picked a movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that actually fits then.
Easton, the afterthought. I think Captain Corelli's mandolin had Penelope Cruz in it. I like Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, that's a fine person to like.
Yeah. Also,
Reef doesn't have beef with that person.
That's fine.
what's your guys' thoughts on Vanilla
I'll
Sky?
allow it.
Vanilla Sky.
It was okay. A little overhyped, maybe. Took me 2 or 3 times to get it.
I keep on thinking of October Sky, so I'm out.
Yeah, there you go.
Tom Cruise.
Oh.
Cameron Diaz.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat Elfline, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982.
Yeah, that fits. I don't know why,
81.
but
Wow.
that fits.
Yeah.
Also, Pat Elfline, actual wrestler, could have also used the wrestler there.
Damn it.
True.
I bet you
Would've worked.
Riley Reef did some double legs back in the day in South Dakota.
Just saying.
Like the state sport is wrestling. Sorry, wrestling.
Wrestling.
Right.
Backyard
Yeah, I don't
wrestling.
know why, but Fast Times at Ridgemont High seems to fit.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, good.
Mike Remmers, The Croods, 2013-71, because he's the most.
Have I just not watched
He's the guy who just looks like
no,
the
it's
most
just
like
Nick
a caveman.
Cage movies.
Oh, this was on Netflix. Yeah, nobody watched this.
Yeah. Although
saw it in
71
the-
on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
saw it in the theater.
Really?
No, I made that up.
Plus, they did a sequel.
Oh, wow. There's a television.
It must be a cult classic,
Prudes?
like something like that.
Like it was so
71 on
bad in the
Netflix?
theater, and then all of a sudden these kids got together at recess. Or
Yeah.
like, dude, have you seen the Croods? though?"
Okay, never mind.
Luke
Box-
has
so
it, so
bad
it's
it's
tight.
good.
so it did release in theaters.
Saw it in the theater.
Box
He said
office
he didn't know.
587. Not
Hey.
bad.
Saw him in the
Wow.
back.
I don't know anything about this.
But I picked it because Mike Remmers looks like a caveman
Yeah, okay, fair.
with the full-on beard.
Done. Next.
Caveman microbrew guy.
For sure.
Next up, Rashad Hill, Snake Eyes, 1998, 40 on
Never saw
Rotten
it.
Tomatoes.
I feel like I saw it. I don't remember.
Because I feel like
Did you see it?
Rashad Hill starting at right tackle would be a gamble either way.
Ooh, I like that.
It could pay off. Could be terrible.
That's perfect.
Either way.
Next.
Who calls anymore in
I don't know.
2018 anyways?
Just
On to the
hang up
defense.
automatically.
Everson Griffin, Bangkok Dangerous, 2008.
Never saw
8
it.
on
Love
the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, don't worry about the Rotten Tomatoes.
Strictly on the
Love
name.
it. Love
Don't
it.
care.
Yeah.
Do not care. Linval, next up, I picked The Rock, 1996. Because, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah. 66 on Rotten Tomatoes, I call BS.
That is incorrect. That's a Michael
Lower
Bay
than the
bias right there. Lower than the Croods.
Sheldon Richardson coming in. I picked Lord of War, 2005, because
I kind of like that movie, actually.
I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know about
got
61.
what's his face from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Jared Leto.
Wait, has Jared Leto in it?
Yeah, it's his brother.
Academy Award winner Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I picked
What?
that.
And Ethan Hawke was the cop.
Yeah.
I picked,
Cop.
I picked that because
Quap.
The cop, you idiot. She's a co-op.
Sheldon's a hired gun. I mean, let's be honest here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I also, unrelated to Sheldon Richardson comp, because I can't make one related to this off the top of my head, but one of the best title sequences, Lord of War, right? Because they just follow the manufacturing of a bullet, right?
Good call, dude. Good.
Yeah, that was good.
And then and then the dramatic ending to that sequence. Do you remember? That like kind of hits you.
Yeah.
It goes into a kid.
Yeah, it goes into a kid.
Yeah. And
Child
it's like,
soldier.
whoa, this is
Yeah.
got deep.
Lord of War, watch
dark.
it.
Great movie.
Rounding out the D-line, Daniil Hunter, kick-ass.
What a great
2010.
movie.
Great movie.
Also,
You see number 2?
I like the.
There's
I like
3
the,
out?
I have not seen
Are
number
there
2.
3?
I don't know.
I think there's just 2. So
Jim Carrey's in one of them.
What?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that kind of fits.
he took a break from painting.
Yeah, actually, I guess that's what that means.
Yeah.
Good movie.
movie.
Comparison.
That's
also
perfect.
because of the title.
Linebackers, Anthony Barr, face-off.
Perfect. You don't know
1997.
which
Wow, that's
friggin'
perfect.
Anthony Barr you're getting. That's great.
Also,
Genius.
I feel like just the movie, like Nick Cage and John Travolta, completely going over the top.
So
Insane.
good. A couple good gifts.
amazing.
Couple good gifts out there for that.
Also, the solution to like having your kid killed is to just take someone else's kid,
Right.
And you're good now. You've got a
Right.
kid.
I'm cool.
You're fine. Yeah.
We got a baby.
Like penguins do that or something. So
Yeah, you're fine.
fine, dude.
Linebacker, Eric Kendricks, stolen, 2012.
Is that like a knockoff of Taken?
Probably.
It's the
had to
prequel.
be.
It's the prequel, dude. Him in
Liam Neeson,
training.
give it back.
Stolen was the script that Liam Neeson passed on, and then he's like, take it, I'm in. It's the same premise, but I feel like
You don't know who I am, but I've generally got a set of skills that probably will cause issues
At some
for you.
point, one way or the other.
I say stolen because I feel like in 3 years the Kendricks deal will just look like a steal.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Was it 550, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Marco will catch up.
Like it.
The other starting linebacker, Eric Wilson,
Wow. Not kidding.
The Trust, 2016.
Just messing around.
Yeah,
The Trust? I don't remember that.
I know, but I trust him to be Gideon.
So
Oh,
many
okay.
movies. How does Nick Cage do it?
Can you imagine someone doing a marathon, Nick Cage marathon? That
Yeah, see you
spans like
next
3
year.
weeks. Yeah.
No,
Right.
it'd be worse for Samuel L. Jackson movies.
It would be.
Yeah.
You
He does
intersperse
the
them?
same thing.
No,
Hey, Mace
I
Windu.
like that.
No, because I did a poll like a couple months ago. It's like who has more movie credits on IMDb, Stormy Daniels or Samuel L. Jackson? Samuel L. Jackson has her beat by like 30.
What?
Yeah.
Well, they don't list every porn movie on
I suppose.
IMDb.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
So
Trump's like
it's not
Samuel.
fair.
But they list a lot of them, though, which is awesome. They are technically motion pictures in more ways than one. Xavier Rhodes,
Hey.
Pay the Ghost, 2015,
I like it.
because his bank account caught the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Didn't he
I-
tweet something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right after he signed a contract,
And
bank
then
account
like
caught the Holy Ghost.
and then like Spielman brought it up in the press conference.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
good.
Trey Waynes, Next, 2007.
Love it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
We coming.
Mackenzie Alexander, Wind Talkers, 2002, because like Mac talks for the rest of the defensive back group.
Yeah.
They're generally a quiet group. Yeah.
That's good.
I think The Family Man, 2000, would have worked for that as well.
Because we're going to
Yeah,
take
that's
Adonis
good.
Alexander in the supplemental draft. He ran like a 4.640, didn't he?
Yeah,
Oh,
but he
so
didn't
gone
have-
in 60
but he didn't
seconds.
have time to nice. But he didn't have time to prep for his pro day. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I just didn't have time, guys.
All right, last two. Harrison Smith, National Treasure. Come on. Oh, come on.
Actually, if you'd made Trey
Beautiful.
Wayne's gone in 60 seconds, yeah, fantastic.
That's fair.
I love it.
Yeah, National Treasure
What's
and
this-
2 and 3.
What's this Bringing Out the Dead, 1999? You guys remember this one?
He played like a paramedic.
Yeah.
And who was
Got
on
70 on Metascore.
Yeah.
Supposed to be
Do
really
you have
good.
a weird superpower where you have instant recall for any Nicolas Cage movie?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah,
it?
I do. And I've a lot of them I haven't even seen.
Same
That's
thing-
a
same
Martin
thing with Stormy.
Scorsese pick.
Yeah.
No, he's like a paramedic who works third shift, and he's like on meth or something. Essentially.
Wow, we should watch that.
Can you imagine?
normal. Oh, he's on meth.
Can you imagine pitching things to Nick Cage? He's like, no, yeah, it's good. It's good. We're good. We're fine.
I like the idea where he
I don't need to
finishes your
read it.
sentences, and the way he finishes your sentence
Hot
is a
meth.
way better movie
Right.
than you were pitching.
It says a snuff film in it.
Yeah, so you're a paramedic on meth, right? Yeah, let's do this. What?
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
for Eric Wilson, It Could Happen to You.
Hey, I like that.
That's good.
Last but not least, Andrew Sandejo, Ghost Rider, because I feel like they're both kind of douchey.
How about Trapped in Paradise?
I like that
Because he's on one of the best defenses in the
Also, doesn't
league.
Ghost Rider kill people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Sandejo's got the hit
There's
stick.
so many
got
Nick
like
Cage
flaming head.
movies that we didn't
Yeah.
even touch.
Did ghost riding capture high school like it did mine? Sitting on the front of your car when it's
yeah,
going?
yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that's Nick
Ghost Ride
Cage.
the Whip.
Ghost Ride the Whip.
Yeah. Starring Nick Cage.
Stormy Daniels.
That's Nick Cage movies.
Yeah,
Viking
my word.
Stars.
He was ripped once?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not even CG.
He's a Coppola.
Although he does have movies where
Damn.
he has a CG six-pack.
He's a Coppola. Of course he's
The
ripped.
Boy in Blue.
Yeah. All right, so that's
Raising Arizona.
Viking Starters as Nick Cage movies, a.k.a. we just killed 20 minutes just for fun. That's how we do.
It's called
Mostly we
it's
talked
called
about
the
Nick Cage
off-season.
movies.
Listen to hour 2. Shows available. Actually, this is an insight to every Blue Door chat afterwards.
Yeah, actually, yeah. This is pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulling back the veil.
And they say a hero can save us.
That's
Spider-Man
iTunes,
2 top.
Stitcher, iHeartRadio, zonecovers.com/machine. Listen to hour 2 as well. But for Luke and Arif and Tom, I'm Andy saying, Anong, sign up, bye-bye. This is hour 2.